This is the Sinister Minister, Father James Mitchell, and you are listening to Aaron, Nate, and Chad on the Reliving the Extreme podcast. Make sure you smash the like button and share, or you will burn in hell.
Reliving the Extreme.
My name is Bubba Ray Dudley.
I don't need a weapon. My hands are my weapons.
This week on Reliving the Extreme, we are reviewing the episode of ECW from March the 15th, 1994. And here joining me, of course, as always, we are the Three Stooges. My brother Aaron.
Hello.
And ECW's Chad Austin.
Hey, hello. Welcome to an exciting, this is kind of a birthday edition of Reliving the Extreme.
Yes, it is. We were actually supposed to record this on Chad's birthday, and the company that I do our streaming through to do the recording was giving me all kind of hell and shit because they were doing server maintenance or something, so we had to reschedule. So, of course, happy belated birthday, Mr. Austin.
It's been a great birthday, even though my number one birthday gift hasn't arrived yet. I don't know if Jess even ordered it yet, but I got my busted open shirt.
Mm-hmm.
And my busted open sticker, but she said I got one more thing coming to me. But one thing I want for a birthday wish is that I wish that everybody go out there and get their vaccine shot.
Please do.
Go out and get vaccinated. This COVID thing is not going away anytime soon. So if you're not vaccinated, I urge you. If we can get 2 people, I'm not going to say one person. If we can get 2 people from that listen to this show, I mean, is Archie vaccinated?
Yes, Archie is vaccinated.
All right. If we can get 2 other people besides Archie, well, shouldn't he get vaccinated again? Ain't nobody know where he's been. I've seen pictures of him.
Archie needs 3 boosters.
Please go out and get your COVID shot. Go out and get your COVID vaccine, because I have been sick for the last couple of days. I mean, really, really sick, and I'm vaccinated, and I tested negative. I took a test. I got a negative test. I just had a regular cold, but you can't go nowhere when you have a regular cold.
Right? Yeah.
Nobody wants you walking in their store when you're sneezing and coughing and hacking.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
and it's and like they say, if you get vaccinated, sure, you still can contract it, but you're much less likely to be hospitalized, and very unlikely that you will pass away from said disease. So, and think about the people that are vulnerable, like your senior citizens. And Aaron and I have a grandmother that's 96 years old. You know, so one of the first things I wanted to do when they had the vaccination was get it for her. I mean, not even necessarily for me. I have a good immune system, but you know,
you think that if you got vaccinated, she'd be good?
Well, my point was because she actually got vaccinated before I did,
okay.
But my whole point is if I'm less likely to get it and she's less likely to get it, then it's less likely to be a deal. You know what I mean? I mean, just think about your fellow human, folks, and don't get your news from Facebook, for Christ's sake. I mean,
yeah,
Jesus.
Get it from Reliving the Extreme.
That's right.
Yeah, we deliver all the hard-hitting news, even though I do have some pretty, I don't know, I guess it ain't news by now, because we're already a week past whatever we were going to record.
Right.
But I just came from a birthday party that was supposed to be mine and somebody else's party combined.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I said, well, who's coming? And she told me the list of friends that were coming. I go, well, none of these are my friends. These are all your friends. She goes, well, they're your friends too. But if I was going to orchestrate a birthday party, I could have named you 10 other people that could have been there that weren't there. So that's why I just said, all right. After like a couple hours, I said, all right, I'm done.
It's like getting married and your side of the aisle's empty. We're sorry, we didn't invite any of your family and shit. Sorry.
Like nobody wanted to fist bump me. They all wanted to shake my hand. And literally I had a thing of the cleaner in my pocket. Because I don't know these fucking ham bones.
Yeah.
And don't worry, Aaron. I'm not going to send you a list of who they were because I don't even know who the fuck they were to begin with. All I know is they were ham bones.
I might have to make Chad's birthday party attendees the ham bones of the week. So before we get into the show, I know Chad wanted to tell the story of his recent excursion into pizza delivery. That sounds like that was fun.
Well, it wasn't much of an excursion. I started on a delivery. Should I preface it by saying it's delivering pizzas? Like I'm an ECW original, and I'm resorted to delivering pizzas. I'm gonna have a dark side of the ring if I keep this up. And I delivered for like 3 days, and then I told Jess that I was getting ready to quit. I was like, I can't do this. What am I doing? I'm wearing my Kiss Destroyer shirt, delivering pies to these people in trailer parks and shit. And then the next day, the owner calls me, and I thought, oh yeah, man, he's going to give me more hours. And he's like, do you have any of my delivery bags in your car? And I go, no. Why would I take a delivery bag? And he goes, good, because listen to this. We're gonna move in a different direction. We're gonna go with somebody. We're gonna go with somebody else. And I was thinking, like, what? You got Juice and Liger? Who's coming to work? Who's coming here to deliver pizzas?
Wasn't Mikey Whipwreck, was it?
No, it wasn't even Mikey Whipwreck.
Might have been Tommy Dreamer. He's looking for work.
I never. The guy that walked in right as I walked out kind of looked like Tommy Dreamer.
Yeah, but a lot of guys in that area of the country kind of look like Tommy Dreamer, don't they?
Exactly. That's why I didn't question it. I figured he was booked somewhere, but now that Tommy's talking about how he worked everywhere in the whole in the United States, I figured maybe he's booked somewhere for different pizza places. He's booked in like Michigan to deliver pizza. He never says he's delivering. He's wrestling. He says he's booked somewhere.
I love how the pizza guy uses the terminology like we're going to move in a different direction.
Yeah.
All right, Paisan.
And the guy said, I said, you're firing me? And he says, well, I'm letting you go. No hard feelings. And I said, wait a minute. I'm the one that was supposed to have the great exit. I thought I was the one that was going to throw the fucking, the napkin down, the paper towel or whatever, rag down on the ground and go, I've had enough of this nonsense.
That or at least do a stretcher job,
Yeah. But no, the guy calls me when I'm on my day off. Like, believe me, if this guy ran a promotion, it wouldn't draw flies because he had a great heel in me at this point, and he decided he was going to let me go. And I looked at Jess and I said, I just got fired from delivering him a pizza job. How hard was that? Apparently, the guy said I moved too slow, and I just said, look, I watch Goodfellas, man. I live Paulie's life. I don't move fast because I ain't got to move fast for anyone. Fuck. Even if I do get a $3 tip, fuck.
Well, fuck that guy anyway.
Well, the pizza sucks anyway.
There you go.
I've never had it, but every time I saw one come out, I never looked at it like, damn, I could eat that pizza.
You looked at it like, is that a Little Caesars? What is that?
Yeah, I looked at it as like, damn, I got to deliver that pizza.
To some poor schlub in a trailer park.
I know Sal Balomo, so I know good pizza when I see it.
Yeah, well, Sal. I mean, they ought to hire Sal because they have a bunch of fucking Sals, but they're a different kind of Sals that work there. There wasn't anybody there worth looking at. I was ever going to cheat on Jess and have a little romper room in the dough room or anything, but I still was like. Dude, this one girl had a face mask that was so big, she looked like she was Mr. Wrestling number 2. And I'm going like, what the fuck are you doing? Your whole entire head's covered. Like, are you a Muslim? like you're half Muslim, half unvaccinated. What are you doing?
Did you turn on Magnum TA before work today?
Yeah, I don't. I possibly could have. It wasn't the greatest day.
Well, like I said,
I didn't wake up feeling so well. I felt way worse yesterday because I almost would have canceled, guys, today because I didn't feel good. And I know we've already pushed the show back, and I know I sound terrible, but I figured, yeah, we can knock this out of the park here because this looks like it's a fucking doozy.
This show may or may not take too long to discuss, so we will try to get Chad back to his restful state here as quickly as we can. And we appreciate you being on and being the trooper and being here with us, Chad.
Well, I really just wanted to get out of the fucking place that I was at. the birthday party that was for me that had nobody there that was for me. That's the birthday party you want. It's almost like when you're a kid and they invite all your friends or all their kids' friends there, then you don't know who they are when you're 1. And then when you're 90 or 95 and they invite your friends back again, you don't know who they are when you're 95. So there could have been 14 people there that knew who I was, but not a single person even commented, "Hey, happy birthday."
No, fuck them anyway too. The pizza guy, fuck him.
They walk
the
up to you and
party
say,
people.
"Hey, whose party is this?"
Yeah, I know. I literally just I literally just said, "Jess, just give me the keys. I gotta go home. I gotta do show notes
for this doozy."
Yeah, she should have known when I said I gotta go home and do show notes that he wants to get out of here.
He wants to go watch that ECW show. He's gotta want to get out of here. Well, like I said, folks, this show aired 3/15/1994 ECW. We get the show starts with a promo from Paul Heyman, Paulie Dangerously, on the match coming up later on for the TV title in the main event. It is Sabu versus Taz, and we'll get to that later. But anything on this promo, guys? Because I honest to God, I just wrote down Paulie promo on Sabu versus Taz. I didn't really have any notes on the promo.
Well, did either one of you two guys catch the phrase Mick Taz?
Yeah.
What was that all about?
He just said he was going to be stumbling around like a drunk Irish person because Sabu was going to beat the shit out of him. And then he mentioned Jeff Galoogie.
So that was it, Mick Taz?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it wasn't
all
funny.
Right,
I guess you can't hit him out of the park every time, right? Every once in a while you get a
Yeah, Paul's one of them guys that you don't see strike out too much.
No, not too often.
I wrote Mick Taz and just going like, why is he saying Mick Taz? What the hell is that all about?
Is there a connection to McDonald's here? What's going on?
Yeah, is he saying he's going to send you back to where you came from?
Then we get Joey Styles in the Eagles Nest to preview the show, and he throws to a promo with Shane Douglas and the Public Enemy, talking about a match they're going to have later on in the show with Terry Funk, Kevin Sullivan, and Crash. So during this promo, Johnny Grunge pickpockets Shane Douglas. I don't know if he pickpocketed his fanny pack or what.
He stole money out of his fanny pack.
Oh, I got nothing to say about that.
I didn't have much on it either. I wrote down here Rubber Band Man. Why did I write that down? Why did I forget why I wrote that down?
That's what the Public Enemy said Terry Funk is.
Oh, yeah, they were talking about the way he's... Okay, yes, that's
the way
it.
he sells.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Rubber Band Man.
The Rubber Band Man!
Now we throw to... I actually, I don't know if you guys want me to reveal. I'm just going to reveal it right here as we talk about it. I actually inducted this match as the ham bone of the week.
What was the match? Because I have a Douglas promo, then a PE promo that I wrote "Good Lord" at, and then it was Dreamer and Cairo, or was this the 6-man?
This was Dreamer and Cairo versus Sandman and Snuka. Yes, I inducted this entire match as the ham bone of the week. It's long, it's plotting. It goes on forever.
I did give Jimmy Snuka and Sandman a tag team name, though.
Oh, you did?
Yes.
You hear my ears perk?
Yes. Sandman and Jimmy Snuka together collectively are known as Substance Abuse.
Wow.
It's a good name for that team, for sure. And Sandman needs the shirt. Good Lord.
Well, Sandman would have embraced that. He would have loved it.
Snuka wouldn't have even known what was going on. So, Aaron, you probably could have made it happen.
Yeah.
Hey, brother.
TCB. With some PCP, brother.
Yeah, your shirt says TCB. Oh, all right, brother. PCP. I'm good, brother.
I'm good, brother. I'm good. He's like I said, the match is very plotting. The finish, and I know we're kind of breezing through this, but I just don't have a lot on this show. I mean, I really don't. It was kind of it was a doozy from beginning to end. I do like the end, but we'll get to that later. The match itself involves they did like a double finish here where Tommy Dreamer has a sleeper on Jimmy Snuka, but the Sandman pins Tommy Cairo at the same time, and which gives the victory to Sandman and Snuka. Tommy Dreamer at the end clocks Hunter Q. Robbins to no response from the crowd. Nobody cared. Nobody gave a shit. Like, people are just sitting there like,
I just figured cared. No, I just thought, my thought was Tommy Cairo must have just learned how to do a spin wheel kick because he hits it 4 times in this match. And he's like, hey, guys, it's like, I learned this 2 days ago. I'm just going to do it as many times as 4 times he hits it.
And yeah, I mean, but the best part is that he's wearing tight ass jeans doing it. So that's what he's accentuating. It's the fact that look, I can wear some 501 button fly. Look at this. I can do a wheelbarrow kick or whatever. What do you call it? A spin kick or whatever?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, this stuff is starting to become just such a blur where it's all just it's the same. It's like Raw. Mm-hmm. It's the same matches. If it ain't the same matches, it's the same 9 people. Come on.
I was gonna say, if it's not the same matches, it feels like the same matches over and over and over again. And you're right. I mean, and the crazy thing is they have. I mean, I don't want to say a super talented roster, but you have a talented roster here. Maybe at least 60% talented. And it's just going to be for the excuse the expression, but we just need the ham bones to fall off, and just get rid of them and get down to business. And I don't want to say it. I'm not even going to say it this week. I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say we're getting there because we keep saying that shit and it doesn't happen. So
it wasn't going nowhere this week.
They brought
she was stuck in the mud.
Running in place, yes.
They brought all the ham bones back like they were booked for that convention still that's happening in Pennsylvania. We need all you guys to stay in town because there's a convention in 25 years that we're going to need you to attend.
And it's going to last 26 days, so we need you to be there. Everybody get your rest.
I mean, that's the reason why that Hunter Q. Robbins got beat up at the beginning because he had an autograph signing. He had autograph signing in Hambone.
It's Hambone halitosis. Here he is, ladies and gentlemen, Hunter Q. Robbins III. All right, anything else on that match, gents?
Nope.
Before we move along, we get Todd Gordon outside the Valley Forge Music Center. I believe is what it's called. Correct, Chad? Is that it? Valley Forge Music Center?
That's what they called it.
Okay. Todd is talking about the card that's coming up there. I believe it's supposed to be March the 26th, I believe.
And he's dressed like a Goomba midget. He looks like a Goomba midget. He's trying to be like a gangster, but he's like the little guy. He's just, it's with his fucking shades and his little jacket. And it's like, Todd Gordon should not hype anything. Why didn't you just...
It's been so long since I watched it. I'm sorry. It's been so long since I watched it. Did he use that? Did he use that extreme voice, or was he doing the somber, I'm booking this card voice?
No, he had puberty voice going on. Oh, this is going to be Valley Forge, Ultimate Jeopardy, and like Aaron said, he's in full hey, I like it, midget Goomba mode here. And it's the main event of this show is going to be what they're calling Ultimate Jeopardy, which I believe is a cage match, and they have an almost confusing amount of stipulations going into this match. If Terry Funk takes the fall, he loses the title. If Sullivan and Taz take the fall, Sullivan or Taz, I guess you'd say, they must split up as a team, which it feels like they already have anyway. Because they're doing separate things. But anyway, if Road Warrior Hawk loses the fall, he has to give up the moniker Road Warrior. Boogie, boogie, boogie. Shane will have to have his head shaved if he takes the fall. And Public Enemy will lose the titles and leave ECW if they take the fall. And if Mr. Hughes takes the fall. Something happens with Jason in the cage. So there's a whole lot going on here in this match.
Who's to say that Jason didn't like what happened with him?
Do you like me in the cage?
Yeah.
How do you like my butthole?
It's gonna be Jason locked in the cage with Maddie.
Okay. So and then Maddie, of course, shows up here to make the hype segment even more fucking annoying. Aaron,
hang on before we
ahead,
go there.
Mm-hmm.
Can I just tell you about what kind of place the Valley Forge was?
Please.
Like I don't know if you guys are, I guess, Midwestern people, right? Ohio's and stuff.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
This is like a premier venue in Pennsylvania. I didn't know. I mean, I've only heard about it, growing up. But like some very prominent like country music singers and all would play there, and it was set up like an opera pit where there was only fans on basically three sides of the ring, kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you couldn't play to like the whole entire crowd and stuff, and the way it was set up, it just looked, this is not set up for wrestling. And I don't think Paul gave a shit. I just think Paul thought that he could draw like, what, a pretty good house. Because what he drew, like, I don't know. I mean, what are they saying he drew? He drew like 2,300.
Yeah. Around there, 22, 23. So it's a bigger venue than it's a concert venue. And is the gist that I'm getting. So they would set up the cameras and stuff on the one side that doesn't have an audience on it.
They also had, I believe the next night there was a taping at the ECW arena, or the next afternoon. And then the next day on Sunday, which is rare for them, he ran a house show somewhere in Delaware, because that was my first interaction with Road Warrior Hawk.
Okay.
And I was just like, this Valley Forge thing, because you had to dress upstairs, like, and when you came to the ring, you had to go from the upstairs. You know how like Moxley walks through the crowd,
right? Yeah,
that's kind of how you had to go to the ring. Like at
so
the
they didn't even have any kind of an aisle or anything set up. You just walk down the stairs through the crowd, pretty much.
At least they didn't have it for me, man. All I remember was I had to work the infamous 911, and all I heard walking down the aisleway was. Real quick story is that I was teaming with Hack Myers at the time, like not at the tag team, but for that match. Because I'm not even sure this match even airs, so I can pretty much give this away. That he had a mask on, and Paulie told Hack to give the mask to me because Paul didn't want to bury me against 911. And I'm thinking, like, why? I've already been buried like a million times.
I was going to say, yeah. I mean, he married you like 2 months ago to be married and buried to 911.
So Hack got pissed off that I'm wearing this big over. I look like Brody Lee's kid wearing a Dark Order mask, wearing this fucking mask. And I'm walking down the steps, and all I heard was, I remember hearing from one guy, Jobber 1, Jobber 2, Jobber 3. And I just kind of looked over going, yeah, you ain't kidding. We're all walking to the ring, and there's 911.
In all his vested glory, just waiting for you.
I'm just glad that I was kind of first. I had no idea who Jobber number 2 or Jobber number 3 were. But I just felt kind of bad for them because, like I've always said on this show, that after the first 1 or 2 choke slams, 911 is useless. Them choke slams are awful.
I'm surprised with like a mask being bit too big for your head. At least it didn't come off when he dropped you on the mat. You know, Jesus.
Well, what did it matter? I was still wearing my fucking orange singlet. Everybody still knows me.
For those of you that think Paulie is always a genius.
Yeah, no, he kept me well hidden. He protected me because I think the next night that I won a match, I think I did, and then the next night I definitely won a match in the Delaware show because I was teaming with Dreamer and Sandman, who was still a babyface of all things.
Well, it's interesting to me, the Valley Forge thing, because it's a unique setting then for a wrestling show. You know, like It's kind of like when Nitro would go to different, and I don't want to get off on a tangent here, but I always like it when wrestling goes to a different kind of looking venue. Instead of your same arena that you go to every single week, or your same, like the WWE does, they make every arena look the same every single week. It was cool when Nitro would go to like Panama City or what have you, just to have a different look for the show. And ECW did that too a lot as we go along. I would love the look of ECW when they'd be in a different type of venue.
Yeah, I mean, all the arenas, they all look the same now. The Dunkin' Donuts center looks exactly the same as the Tampax, whatever.
The Bausch and Lone Dome.
Yeah.
The Dunkin' Donuts arena and the Tampax arena?
They all have fucking corporate names now.
Is Tampax a brand or is it just a thing?
Brand.
Is it like Kleenex, where you think every tissue is a Kleenex because they've become such a good brand? Yeah.
It's not Equate. That's all we ever get here. When Jess goes to Walmart and I ask her to bring me home some like Rolaids, and she brings me home a whole entire thing of Equates.
Equate antacid tablets. Yes, they're not Rolaids. They're antacid tablets.
Oh, good Lord! I didn't ask you for natural like half weight like cruiserweights. Can you pick up an 18-pack of natural cruiserweight? It's natural life.
So what do we think about the convoluted stipulations coming up in this Ultimate Jeopardy match? There's a lot going on here, guys. Or maybe not a lot, but you know what I mean. There's a lot going on here to digest, I guess.
Well, Aaron, if you want to go first, go ahead, because I got my thoughts on this.
I just think it's too much, and I don't understand. Like some of them are like really stupid. Like, well, not some of them. Most of them are like really stupid. Like, you can't be called the Road Warrior anymore. It's like, really? Just in this rinky-dinky operation, I can't be the Road Warrior? You think I'm not going to be the Road Warrior when I go to Japan or I get whatever? And it's just, Shane Douglas isn't getting his head shaved. There's like 2 or 3 possibilities that come out of this whole thing. All the other ones are just junk.
And like I said, Taz and Sullivan have essentially already split. They put Taz off on his own little thing, and Sullivan's doing his own thing. But one of the stipulations is if they lose, they got to split up.
Yeah, I looked at it as if it was kind of for me, it kind of resembled like a barometer that we'll see who's over out of all these people. Because, again, you guys are right. Road Warrior Hawk wasn't going to fucking... First off, he wasn't going to shave his mohawk or lose the Road Warrior name. And then whatever other stipulation you have, what was the least possible thing? Taz and Sullivan lose the belts? So it's kind of like, all right, well, then I guess Taz and Sullivan lose the belts, and I don't even know if they did. We haven't got there yet.
Well, actually, no, they've already lost the belts. Public Enemy is the champions, and if they lose the fall, they lose the titles and have to leave ECW, so that's not happening. They're not going to leave.
At least not for another year and a half or so.
Yeah, but I love the Road Warrior thing, because it's like Road Warrior touches down in Japan. He's like, listen, Mr. Baba, I can't be Road Warrior Hawk because I lost that name in Valley Forge, Pennsylvania. I just can't do it, Mr. Baba. I mean, what the fuck?
Tommy Cairo. God damn it.
All right, I think we've shit on that enough. Then we get I just wrote down Maddie with Mr. Hughes. I don't like it.
I don't even know what this was.
I don't either. Like, I don't know what it was supposed to be. I don't know what it was. I don't know what it was going to be.
Jason threw a marble at the wall and was like, "Tell them about it," and then they didn't tell anybody about it.
I didn't even see him throwing a marble against the wall. Once I saw Mr. Hughes, I realized it was time for me to get another beer. And then apparently, right next to it, I made sure my pen still had ink in it alongside of it. And then I looked like. Then it looks like I wrote Mr. Hughes versus disabilities.
Well, I wrote down, because they didn't say his name at first, I wrote down Mr. Hughes versus a big fat guy.
Oh,
and then
Billy Firehawk.
Later on, they say his name is Billy Firehawk. Yes.
I renamed him Billy Firebolt because he's very bulky and jiggly. It's disgusting.
Well, I'm sure this was fucking every bit as much as I wrote down with my notes. That I wrote Mr. Hughes versus Mr. Disabilities. or maybe it was Mr. Diabetes. I'm not even sure. I can't even remote hand.
That's probably what it was.
I can't even remote handwriting.
I like Mr. Disabilities. I don't know why, but
Mr. Disability is going to be teaming up with Mr. Shabby Bomb Beams.
Silky Boom Boom.
Silky
Whatever.
Boombox.
Yeah.
Boombox.
Silky Boombox.
They're going to be the variety club.
And Mr. Ooh La La.
I was about to say they're going to be managed by Mr. Ooh La La.
And they're the variety club.
But I think Billy Firehawk, if I'm not mistaken, I believe he sticks around for a little while because I think I got to beat him once on TV. That's a shame.
So, see, looking at that guy, it makes me think of something, and it's going to be. You might think it's weird, you might not. You ever wrestle a guy?
Disabilities?
You ever? When I look at Billy Firehawk, I think he probably smells. You ever have to wrestle a guy that just was a stinky bastard that didn't take care of himself and what the hell is that like? That's got to be terrible. You can name names here too.
I honestly can't tell you because 20 some years ago I got punched in the face and I got my nose broken, and in the process it really fucked up my sense of smell. So I really can't smell. So I can't smell so great. Something has to be really bad, like for me to smell it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to think. I know I've wrestled some dirty motherfuckers before, but if I did, I made a conscious effort to not let them get me in a head scissors.
Yeah, that's you don't want to wind up in that area.
I mean, let's just use just say Hack Myers for an instant, and I don't think Hack Myers stunk at all.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, in different ways he did, but not as he actually smelled. But if Hack Myers would have stunk, I would have never told him to lock up, take a headlock takeover, where I could lay there in this fucking big hairy ass armpit.
You're right.
If it stunk, so I don't think. I'm sure I have, and I'm sure there's some people that could say the same thing about me, because I wasn't always the most hygienic guy when it came to washing my gear, and a lot of guys couldn't be, especially on these trips like the Valley Forge trips, because I didn't have like 3 or 4 pairs of gear. I just had like 1 or 2, and then if I wore one night, then I wore the other one the next night, then I wore the next one the next night. Then it's been sitting there festering.
Right. Well, yeah, and what, 1 of every 5 hotels actually has laundry service. So you would, or a washer and dryer or something that you could use. So you're not going to be guaranteed to.
I'm not even sure I stayed in a hotel. I think I went home all that night because Valley Forge was a Friday, I believe, and then ECW Arena was a Saturday afternoon. So we had a bus. This is the only time that I know that Ball had a bus, a nice bus, a luxury coach bus. And then the next night was that show in Delaware. But yeah. It's kind of hard to keep your gear clean,
Right.
Because how clean are the aprons, the mats?
Not very fucking clean. They're not laundering those every evening after the show.
No. I mean, they usually, if they do it at all, they usually take the mattresses, the mat covers off, and they take them out back, and they usually kind of hose them down because the water will seep through them. But it's not like they put them out in the parking lot and somebody grabs a mop bucket with soap and water and cleans them off. So the best you're going to get is just it's been hosed off. So I really can't believe there hasn't been more like staph infections and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I think in today's world, because everybody's so fucking inoculated and vaccinated and germed up and everything, that more people get sick nowadays because they ain't used to fucking germs.
Yeah, they don't have an immune. Yeah, they don't have an immune system, or the drugs have weakened their immune system. Their bodies become reliant on that. But
yeah, I don't know how old you guys are, but when I was born, I got like the 3 vaccination shots that I needed, whatever. Polio. I got a polio shot, and I was like, I wasn't even My parents were barely even born during the polio era. You know, I got that shot, and I got like another shot for I don't know what it was, maybe rabies or whatever. You know, and I got like all my shots, and now I'm watching the news, and I gotta get more shots because of this fucking the itis.
Okay, so I'm sorry thank you, I guess, Billy Firehawk, for inspiring me to ask about smelly wrestlers. But
yeah, Billy Firehawk stink.
Ian Rotten has the same bathing habits of a Matt.
I think the Matt
just hoses him down. Somebody just hoses him down.
Well, as much as I like fucking Ian Rotten, I think the Matt has better hygiene than Ian Rotten. After a tournament of death.
Well, Mr. Hughes beats this fat bastard, and then we move on to the match: Shane Douglas and the Public Enemy in a 6-man against Terry Funk, Kevin Sullivan, and Crash. So, did they explain at any point why Sherry just screamed and ran away from the match, Aaron?
No, they did not.
I was like, did I miss it? But...
Yeah, did I miss the fact that Sherry came running out like during the match?
Well, I think she came out with Shane, but then at some point she's just like in the aisle screaming, and she just ran up the aisle.
Well, I honestly don't think that happened. I think Shane came out, and then Sherry came running out afterwards, and then yelled at Shane, and then ran to the back. I mean, that's how I saw it. So maybe I'm wrong, but believe me, I'm not going to go back and relive this extreme.
Aaron, what did you see? Which one of us is right?
I don't know, because I don't know what happened. I have no idea. I looked up and Terry was just screaming, and then she ran away.
Oh,
I thought maybe Kevin Sullivan did something to her or something. I don't know. But,
maybe Kevin Sullivan did.
I did write down here that I thought Bill DeMott looked impressive in this match, and he doesn't get enough credit for how good he is overall in his career. I mean, I don't want to go off on make it the Bill DeMott show or whatever, but like I said, I thought he was really good in this match. And did I hear a Gilbert chant during this match?
Yeah, you heard it. Well, I mean, with that crowd, you heard a slight Gilbert chant, and I thought Crash was really, and believe me, you can say you don't want to make it a Bill DeMott show all you want, but this was really a good showcase for Bill DeMott. Mm-hmm. Because the last time we saw him was Ultra Class during that whole entire wing invasion.
Yes.
So like we really never saw him much after that. And then considering he lived in New Jersey, that he and in between tours, why would you have a hand like that there? You know.
Exactly. Yeah.
And he had a great head on the shoulders. And he didn't have a problem with doing jobs because he was used to doing jobs in Japan. That's all he ever did anyway, at least as far as whatever I have on video. Mm-hmm. He didn't win too much. But, yeah, he was a great guy to have around because he looked impressive. And that now that we fast forward, we find out years later, he was a great teacher. Or he is a great teacher. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, he was a great guy to have around. And I remember during this weekend, I actually got a chance to sit around and talk to him. And I told him about how I knew who he was through his stuff in Japan. And he was like, really? And then, like, where'd you get this stuff? And I'm thinking, like how everybody else does, through tape
trading, yeah.
Like, and I'm pretty sure he may have asked me can you make me a tape or whatever. And I'm pretty sure I probably did because I thought he was great. I liked Bill there, and I liked all of his wings. I like the wings. Like I can get off this show here and go into the house and watch a wing show and laugh my ass off about how fucking ridiculous it is.
But it's fun to watch. You know? Yeah,
Freddie, Jason, and the Piranha Death Match. Like I have some of the matches they never even talk about. You know, like the Piranha Death Match was great. Like there's no way that the guy's sticking his hand and the pool is like, you know, like an Olympic-sized pool with a ring in the middle of it. And the guy's sticking his hand down in the water, and he expects like 4 piranhas to come running up, and tear his hand off like in a while the referee's counting to 10.
I picture like the old like cheesy 80s horror movies with the bubbly water. You never actually see the piranhas. It's just like the bubbly water and the guy starts screaming.
Yeah, that's kind of what it was, because it wasn't like it was in a shallow pool with a whole bunch of piranhas. It was like 7.
we got the budget for 7 piranhas.
But I like Crash, and I really thought that Bill DeMont was going to be a good fit in ECW at the time, but I didn't realize he was. I'm pretty sure he ended up becoming a liaison, through Japan. I think that's why he was there, because he didn't stick around long, and then you can see a lot of the guys went to Japan. Not too long after this, maybe Cairo was one of them.
Yeah,
Taz probably went too.
I think Sabu goes back later this year too, for a bit.
Yeah,
Sabu probably had his own deal though.
What's that?
Sabu probably had his own deal though. He didn't need Bill DeMont to get him over in Japan. But.
Yeah, Sabu was already had his foothold in FMW, so he was probably there. But it was. I think the way that it worked was get your foot in, like you said, Aaron. Get your foot in, like either with Wing, Gumi, or whatever them companies are called, or even Osaka Pro, for Christ's sake.
The general consensus on this match, I thought it was decent. It wasn't great for me. In the end, Kevin Sullivan pins Johnny Grunge with a pile driver. Do either of you guys have any notes or anything of note to say about the actual match itself?
It dragged and it was boring, and there's only so many times you can see a pile driver in one match before you're like, okay, we get it. You're working over the guy's neck. Jesus Christ. I just thought this match was plotting and was like way longer than what it needed to be.
Well, it was definitely a TV time killer.
Which we see a lot of that.
All I know is about halfway through that match, I had put a Tortino's party pizza in the oven. So I didn't even have a finish for this one. I was like, oh, my pepperoni Tortino's is done.
Is that the one with the little? Oh no! I was gonna say, is that the one with the little square pepperonis?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like 99 cents.
It's like school pizza.
Fuck yeah! I don't have any money pizza.
Now the next match, the ending match of this show, because I'm just skipping over Maddie talking about the Valley Forge event. I like this match, but I like to watch Sabu wrestle Taz, and that's what we have as our main event. It's Taz versus Sabu for the World Television Championship. Aaron, you want to give us the ABCs here?
I just have bullet points on it. I mean, it started as it should. A wild-ass brawl. They fought all over the building. There were some really good spots in it, and I enjoyed it. There was at one point Taz belly-to-belly suplex Sabu over the top, and that was pretty fucking cool, I think.
Mm-hmm. Can you believe all the mat wrestling they did?
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Like they literally...
That's one of the things
right. Aaron came in. They came in hot. They did all that nonsense, all them high spots and shit, and then all of a sudden, then you see them like going for the leg, and they're like working the leg, and they're like doing all these chain wrestling spots, and I'm thinking Sabu and Taz are mat wrestling.
But the brilliance of these two guys, especially when they work together, is they do chain wrestling spots, but somehow it still looks chaotic. Like they manage to still make it look like, hey, we're a couple of fucking crazy guys that know some wrestling holds. You know what I mean? They still make it look beautifully chaotic, I guess, is what I'm looking for. Yeah,
I totally agree. I mean, because that's part of the beauty of it, because wrestling isn't supposed to look like it's ballet. It's a performance art, but at the same time, it's not supposed to look like the other person is cooperating with you.
Right.
He's ultimately going to cooperate with you, but it's not supposed to look like, all right, well, you're going to suplex me, so you're going to see my hand right there on his stomach while he picks me up, And then when they were rolling around the ground, that was beautiful. It was just like, it's just showing that these two guys they're so ferocious, and they know how to do all this shit. And it was probably laying, I don't know about you, Nate, you tell me, it could have been laying the groundwork because we're not too far removed from the new debut of Taz, right?
No, he's about to change his gimmick very, very soon. Especially, I think once he shakes off Sullivan, he starts molding into being, I guess, quote unquote, more a human type character, instead of this Neanderthal or whatever he's trying to play here. But yeah, once he shakes off Sullivan, I think that's when that starts to happen, because they're no longer trying to make him a part of a package. So he's got to be his own man. And that you can tell with this rivalry between these two, I don't know how they felt about each other personally. I don't know if they were friendly. I don't know how that was with those guys. But what I do know is they were magic in the ring together for sure.
Well, history from 97 on, or 96 on, says Taz Sabu didn't get along. So I don't know if the heat started back then.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have any idea, because Taz was not the Taz that we know of back then.
Right.
He wasn't like a locker room guy. He wasn't like a guy that, that hung out and
Mm-hmm.
talk, and everything. We just figured, all right, it's Taz and Sabu, and this is kind of the way it is. And I was just blown away about how good the chemistry is. But it's like you said, it's an awful chemistry.
Right. Taz does win the television championship in this match after an impressive suplex off the top rope, and Taz wins the title. And overall, like I said, I really liked the match. I thought there were a lot of great spots here. These two guys work great together. And then we end the show with Sabu moonsaulting the table, and that's how we go off the air with this episode of ECW from March 15th, 1994. Overall, what did we think? I think we kind of gave our impressions as we were going through, that this wasn't exactly even a bunt on this one. Definitely not a home run. But if you gave it an overall grade, Aaron, what would you give it?
Nothing, because nothing happened. I mean, Taz won the TV title, but that was it. Like, this show did nothing for me.
Well,
this was one where I was just like, I can't. I have no, even anything super funny to write down or anything like that. It's like the most I got is making a fat joke about an Indian guy. It's not much to work with.
Who made a fat joke about an Indian guy? You did it?
I did, yeah.
And he's probably Italian anyway. Just
what was the fat joke?
He was Billy Firebulk instead of Hawk.
Oh, Billy Firebulk?
Bulk, like bulky. See, it's not even a good joke. I got nothing out of this show.
No. If I had to try to break it down, then no, I
yeah,
not agree. Not agree.
if we're gonna pick it apart, not a great joke, but like Aaron said, there wasn't a lot of good material to work with here, even from a comedy standpoint. It was just kind of there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know which spot it was during that Sabu Taz match, but there were so many of them. But there were so many of them that looked just so unsafe that, if somebody would have asked me to take these spots, I would just say, I don't know about this.
Mm-hmm.
Even if Taz was, hey, brother, I got you. Do you really think he would have got me, during the heat of the match when the crowd's all up, whatever, and he's beating me up and he's getting ready to dump me on my head?
The adrenaline's flowing, yeah.
Yeah. Do you think he really had me? But as far as the overall grade for this show, I just call it a dud, a doozy.
Mm-hmm.
Just nothing. I mean, the Valley Forge stuff looks promising.
Yes, and like I said, I mean, we were saying that match, the main event match for the Ultimate Jeopardy deal, is very convoluted and lots of stipulations, but ECW, I mean, and I don't, they're not there yet, but there's a point where they get to the point where they can edit something for television to make it look 1,000 times better than it actually was. Show us the parts that are the best parts and leave the crap on the shelf. So you never know. When we see this on the TV show, it may look fantastic. We may hindsight say, "Oh, well, we were a little premature in shitting on this thing," but It just sounds like too much going on in one match. But I guess we'll see. Because I don't think I've ever seen any of it.
I'm sure some of the people that we saw tonight on the show are definitely getting weaned out.
Mm-hmm.
And probably when it comes to the Valley Forge show, you're going to start seeing them guys really getting weaned out. Because I don't think we see Rebel anymore, who was on any of the shows. But considering we ran them 3 shows in Valley Forge, we pretty much needed his license.
Mm-hmm.
So he'd probably be on them shows for the last time. But yeah, it just wasn't. It wasn't their best effort, and that's all that they had in the can. They can't wait to get done Valley Forge.
Yeah, no shit.
You know,
we need a taping bad.
And then like I can't wait to see when this shit airs how it looks, because I remember being there. It doesn't look good like on TV.
Well, we will see that when we get there. Guys, Chad, I want to thank you for being again with us, not feeling well. We hope you feel better, and I'm sure our listeners do too. Any parting words this week as we sign off?
No, again, I just urge everybody go out and get their COVID vaccine shot. It's not gonna protect you from the virus, but it will protect you from a lot of the symptoms, because I didn't go get a test. I could have very well had a test and tested positive, but I feel better today. And Miss Jessica, the lovely Miss Jessica, she don't feel sick at all. So that's why I don't think it was the COVID, but I just get your vaccine shot, please. And if you want to follow me and follow my whole entire, I think my vaccine shot has a Twitter page now. Follow me on Chad Austin Demira on Twitter, or Chad Vaccine Demira on Twitter.
Aaron?
Just thanks for listening. Hopefully next week's show, not this show, but hopefully next week's ECW Hardcore TV is better than this was. And I'm impressed that, we had to do Dirty Wrestler and Pizza Talk, but we got there, guys. We did it.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did. Congratulations once again. We got an hour out of it. Thank you, everybody, for joining us here on Reliving the Extreme. Don't forget, also, check out the We Can't Wrestle podcast and WrestleNet Radio when you get a chance, if you get a chance. And like Chad said, get vaccinated. What are you waiting for? Thank you for joining us, and we'll see everybody again next week as we continue Reliving the Extreme. Reliving the Extreme is a production of Maxing Out Media, all rights reserved.